So in 2 days, I will be going to Japan again.
2 days. Okay.
Yeah. So on Sunday, we're recording this Friday. We're actually recording this immediately after recording another episode, but that's neither here nor there. We're just trying to get things in the tank for when I'm gone. But you might be asking, why are you going to Japan twice in 1 month? That seems a little ridiculous. And I would agree with you. It is ridiculous. So what ended up happening is that I have these two different friend groups who were both interested in going to Japan. Both of these groups are very flaky, so I assumed one of them would bail. Like I was, there was no doubt in my mind. I was like 100% sure when this was getting planned out last year, like 6+ months ago. All right, like one of these groups for sure going to bail. This isn't going to be an issue. But for some reason, both groups hard committed, and not only did they hard commit, they both wanted to go in the same month.
That's so funny.
I had a lot of PTO built up over COVID that I just never spent.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
Are you going to be out though
through
after
all
this?
Of it now. I'll still have some that'll generate this year,
But your stockpile's burnt.
But the stockpile is gone.
That's where I'm at.
That's
too.
fine. Like I don't know. There was a point in my life where I was just like, I want to save this up for as long as I can. But then I realized, like, what am I saving it up for? Enjoy it. Enjoy your life.
When I only had 2 weeks of PTO, saving one of those weeks so that I could do like a 2-week trip the next year, like saving it made sense when I only had 2 weeks. Now that I have 3 weeks, it's kind of like, no, I kind of just want to take the 3 weeks every year. I want that time.
Which, by the way, 3 weeks. You also have 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's like pretty low from my understanding for a lot of like corporate jobs. So
really?
We are kind of on the lower end of that, but
I'll have that in mind in negotiations if it ever comes up. Because I feel, I don't know about you, but I'm still in like a position where I don't know that many people that are in like an engineering job, for instance, like a software engineer.
Well, it's not even a tech job thing. I think even outside of the kind of job, like
right, but I don't
know. Jobs have more PTO.
I'm trying to phrase this.
I guess white collar jobs. I should be more.
Yeah,
specific.
I guess I don't know a lot of people working white collar jobs. I don't know a lot of people that have a single day of PTO. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
So I
depends on the nature of your work.
3 weeks feels like a lot next to 0.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm.
No, I know that's not what you're saying.
I feel fine with this amount of PTO.
I would love
in addition
to have
like
6 weeks. That made me so
holidays,
happy.
Right? Holidays are cool too. But.
Yeah. They took away my floating holidays at work. I don't get them anymore. I only get
that sucks.
The same ones federal employees get. That's what my company moved to.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like,
I guess that makes a little bit of sense.
And I think technically I can like move those anyway. I just have to like ask.
Yeah.
But asking.
Right, yeah. Interacting with
I just usually just take the day.
Coworkers. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to just justify why I'm going to Japan again within a 1 month time frame.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous, but I also tell myself this: who does this sort of thing, right? That's definitely like a story that I'll have in the back pocket.
See, I'd love to plan a trip right now, but I actually can't get on a flight starting May 7th because
passport needs to be renewed or something.
Passport is in the middle of getting renewed right now. I sent it off the other day, and my state ID will no longer be valid to get on a plane. Pennsylvania is doing the Real ID activation May 7th.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've already got one of those Real ID things. I think Virginia did that a while ago.
I filled it out like 2 days ago, so I'll have one coming in 2 weeks. So it's not really relevant because I am hopping on a plane in June, hopefully right after Switch 2 comes out. But hopefully I'll have one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it'll be so nice traveling with that thing.
Maybe. I was kind of thinking about it, and the only game I'll have is Mario Kart. And I mean, obviously my Switch games
by yourself against
exactly.
CPUs.
No internet on the plane. At least not good enough internet to play Mario Kart. But
right,
I'll be able to knock
We're
out
already
the
talking about video games, so maybe we should just
let's cut it.
The main episode. Hey, and welcome back to Game Talk. I'm your host, Tim, and today I'm joined by Connor.
Hey, guys.
And just Connor for this episode. We are recording, like I said in the open, we are recording a couple bonus episodes because I will be out for a couple weeks in Japan again. Mike could not make it to this one. And also, we have no video for this episode because Mike is our video guy. So This one's gonna be audio only, like the good old days.
Yeah, I'll try to figure that out so that since I'm the one who's always here, I'll try to figure that out so it doesn't happen again.
Connor's got the perfect attendance for the show. But yeah, I think with just the two of us here, I think we want to talk about hardware launches and our successes and failures and frustrations with those. This is coming off of the Switch 2 pre-order kind of fiasco that Connor and I went through.
A
couple of days ago at midnight.
So yours was pretty bad.
Yours
right?
went way more smoother than me. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like. So I went into it with a different mindset than you. I think you went into it with the mindset like I'm getting this. Like I'm for sure getting this. I went into the mindset more like I'm already still awake. It was midnight, and I'm like,
well, let's back up. So I was actually not even planning on doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Nintendo's gonna, because I signed up for the email thing because I think I qualify. I had like 50 plus hours of gameplay on Nintendo. I own a Nintendo Switch Online account that I pay for. So I met all the qualifications. So it's just like, all right, Nintendo's gonna email me in early May, and I'll just get my Switch 2 through them. Then you messaged me at like 11:30 p.m.
It was way earlier than that. It was like 11. It was like
okay, way earlier. All right, 11.
The difference between 11 and 11:30 is a massive when you get up at 8 a.m. for work.
Okay, yeah. So you messaged me at 11 p.m. It was like, hey, are you gonna try and get a Switch at midnight? Because the retailers, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, etc., all opened their pre-orders. What was it? Midnight on the 24th, right?
Yeah.
Was it the 24th?
Yeah, it was the 24th. It was Thursday. Yeah. Midnight Thursday morning.
Yesterday. Yeah, midnight yesterday, which is, it feels like a lot of time has passed since then, which is kind of crazy.
That's funny.
But yeah, so like, I was just like, nah, I'm good. And then I looked into a little, like, I did a little bit of research, right?
And it's a good thing you did, because when you said that to me, I was like, oh, I don't need to stay up.
of buying it. If you buy it through Nintendo, there's no guarantee of getting it at a launch date, which does not sound right to me. To me, like, that should be the only for sure guaranteed way of getting it if you get it from Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's right. I don't know if I was just reading misinformation, but that put the fear of God in me, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm gonna fight with this mindless horde. Basically, join the horde.
The horde of bots.
To try and the digital horde.
Bots and scalpers.
To try and get the Switch 2. And this isn't my first rodeo by any means. No. Like, I've done, and you.
That's why I was messaging you. I wanted the hot tips. Yeah.
You haven't really done this much, but I am a seasoned veteran. I got the PlayStation 5 Pro 40th or 20th anniversary, 40th anniversary, whatever.
20th.
30th? I don't know. I don't even remember which anniversary it is. Yeah, I think it's it's 30th
1995. Yeah.
That sounds right.
95.
But yeah, that was like highly limited, and I was able to get one of those. And like, there were people who were like live streaming it, gurus, guides that were not able to get one.
Yeah.
So I was able to get one of those. So I felt pretty confident in my console pre-ordering skills. So yeah, so then I changed my mind. I messaged you and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try and get one, and that convinced you to try and get one too. So we were both at midnight. Well, so let me describe what I was doing, and then you can describe what you were doing. I was already in bed at this point, and I was just like, I really want a Switch 2, but I'm not, at this point in my life, I'm not willing to go over to my desktop and open up like 3 different windows for like trying to get, for each one through Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. So what I ended up doing was I installed the Walmart, Target, and Best Buy apps on my phone, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go through the apps. If it doesn't work, it is what it is. And I'm now realizing that was a very poor decision, because it certainly seems like to me that the websites, not the apps, were set up to handle the intense volume of traffic that they were hit with.
I'm surprised it's any different, but
the apps were basically non-functional.
Well, the Target website was also pretty non-functional.
But yeah, like, it surprised me, right? Like, just thinking back to, like, obviously there's a lot of noise around Switch 2. A lot of people are upset about Switch 2. People are still
bought it.
foaming at the mouth for this thing.
Yeah.
And if early pre-order trends are anything to look at, even in Japan alone, like, more people are applying for this thing that they're manufacturing for Japan. And like, looking at the US, seeing all these websites go down for the pre-order, this thing is going to probably be the fastest selling console in history. It's seeming like that to me.
See, it's just it's so night and day to my experience buying a 3DS on launch day.
Yeah, because no one wanted that thing
I
at
remember it like
launch.
it was yesterday. I was on a trip to my grandma's, and I like almost like I was a kid and like what was it, $200 or something? That was a lot of money to a kid, but also like I was at a point in my life where I was starting to get some money. I was working in the summers, and I like just decided I was going to go buy a 3DS. And I walked into a GameStop and I bought a 3DS day of. Nobody was
Yeah.
there. It was a ghost town.
Well, which funnily enough, apparently, so like everyone had a hard time trying to get pre-order this thing digitally at midnight.
Yeah.
Apparently, the easiest way was to just walk into GameStop.
Yeah, apparently.
Because GameStop had like a physical pre-order thing going where you could show up at a store and secure a pre-order.
And you don't have to fight bots that way.
Yeah, and you might have to fight people.
Yeah.
Which could be worse potentially, but from what I hear, that was the smoothest way. But anyways, yeah, midnight rolls around. I was on the apps. I was banking on Best Buy. That was a bad move because like Best Buy performed the worst out of the three. Like everything was crashing. Through Target, I got through to the payment. I had the Switch 2 in my cart, got to the payment, wouldn't let me enter in my payment information, and I was stuck spamming that. But you eventually got that to work, right?
I did,
Target?
Yeah, Target is where I got my pre-order from.
Yeah, so you were able to get it through Target. I was not. Like, so you got yours at like 12:30 or something.
12:23, right? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is important because it might determine whether or not I get it on launch day.
Yeah, so like people who had secured the pre-order apparently were getting cancellation emails afterwards. Some people were getting different delivery dates. It was like a whole mess.
I am still getting a different delivery date, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
June 11th is what it's saying right now.
Oh, that sucks. That's almost a week later.
Well, what sucks about it, that's Wednesday. I'll be in Hilton Head at the time. I'll not be
you won't
home
even be
to
there.
receive it.
Yeah.
Now, if I can get it locked down and like know for certain, I could just have it shipped to Hilton Head and get it there, which would be fine. I've done that before, but it's still annoying.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so I was like locked in at this point. I was just like, one way or another, I'm getting one of these Switch 2s tonight. And you were like, I'm done. I'm going to bed. I have mine. Bye. And so like I was you know, but I was fighting the fight. So it was pretty psychotic behavior, right? Like it was just open up all three of the apps. Their crash, okay, close out of the app completely, reopen it, try to do it again. And I just did this over and over for minutes and minutes and minutes.
What three
and then
was
eventually,
it? It was Walmart, Target, and Best Buy?
And Best Buy, yeah.
Okay.
And eventually I was just like, this isn't working. So it still wasn't enough to get me out of bed.
No.
But I did, on my phone, go on the websites as well now. And that was getting me farther. Best Buy at this point, because Best Buy never even went live at midnight. It took them like an extra hour.
Yeah.
So around 1 a.m. they went live, and it put me in a queue. So I was in a queue in Best Buy online through the app and the browser, 2 different queues. So I was in both queues for what felt like 30 plus minutes at least. And then I get like a 404 error or something on the app, and I was just like, this isn't worth it at all. And I was almost about ready to give up. I was like, this isn't worth it. This is going to ruin my day tomorrow. It was like, I think 1:30 or something at this point.
That's so late.
And I was on a video game forum that I usually frequent, and some dude just posted this random link to Walmart. It was just like, try this.
And it worked?
And it worked.
That's psychotic.
It straight up just worked. Yeah. Like and there was no queue. I don't understand what black magic it was.
It
right?
had
like,
to be a back
queue,
door.
There was nothing.
Like a queue backdoor thing.
But yeah, I got my Switch, but it was only the Switch without Mario Kart. So it was a $450 Switch. It was not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's not what I want, but it is whatever. So I was ready to go to bed, but in that same thread, someone posted another link. It was like, this is for the Mario Kart bundle. So I got that as well.
So you getting two Switches?
No. Once I saw it was confirmed, I canceled the other one.
Okay.
So I am set for a Mario Kart Switch bundle at launch, and it will be delivered June 5th. So it all worked out for me. What didn't work out was the next day. So like yesterday really sucked for me. Like I was completely sleep deprived because like the stress of trying to get one of these things kept me up too. So like even after I'd gotten it, I couldn't fall asleep. So I was up to like 6 a.m. So, like, it just
6 a.m.
like, the stupid thing just ruined my day. But, because like, when you're up like that, you're just finished the next day, like, your next day
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
you're
at least
cooked.
for me,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, no, I'm
I
the
can't
same
really
way.
do anything. So, sacrifices were made, but I did get a Switch 2. So that was my Switch 2 console launch. Um,
My
but, like, do you have any other, like, memorable console
Well, let me
launches?
go
Because
through my Switch
I
2,
definitely have a
like,
few.
what it was like for
Yeah,
me to get the Switch 2.
sure.
Mine was very different. Mine was, like, 11 o'clock, I'm texting you, it's like, "Hey, don't the pre-orders go live in an hour?" And you say, "Yeah, but you don't need to worry about it, like, the Nintendo thing, that's what I'm banking on." And
20
I'm
minutes
like,
later, worry
"Okay."
about it.
20 minutes later, you're like, "Actually, I'm going for it, those aren't gonna be here on launch day." And I'm like, and I'm like, "Am I gonna go for it? I don't know." And I decide eventually, yeah. Well, what I decide, I lay down to go to bed, and I, like, do my usual bedtime routine. I'm like, if I'm awake at midnight, I'll go for it. 11:58 rolls around. I'm like, all right, better. I get out of
It's
bed.
happening.
I go grab my wallet so that I have it by the bedside. I lay back down on my phone.
Yeah.
Open up Target, because Target was the one I was hoping, because I wanted to do in-store pickup because of Walmart. There is no Walmart or GameStop in Pittsburgh. We don't have them.
No Walmart in Pittsburgh, that's kinda surprising.
Walmart doesn't exist in cities. They only build in suburbs. Right,
Hmm,
essentially. They can't get enough
okay.
land. But there is a
Target
Target.
exists in cities,
Yep,
yeah.
there's a Target down the street from me, so I'm like, in-store pickup is ideal for me. They didn't offer in-store pickup. Um, but that was my reasoning for going for Target. I went for Walmart too because I knew they do ship. So I hopped in the queue. Walmart had a queue, which I like. I like a queue. But then I hopped on Target, and Target wasn't working at all, and I'm like, well, while I'm sitting in the Walmart queue, I'll just refresh Target over and over like a human bot. And I just did that, got it added to the cart. Uh, uh, and then I was like, oh, my payment information's not in here. Took me probably 8 minutes or something to get my payment info in because their site was so wonky. And then once I had that in, it just would not let me pay, would not let me pay. So I just sat there and spammed the button until eventually it went through. And then it went through
Yeah.
12:23 or something. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then I went to bed.
Yeah, yours was way smoother.
Yeah. But that's the
But
only I mean, I know I've done this before, but I think maybe it was the PS5 and I didn't get one. The
oh,
PS5 Pro,
really? That's surprising.
the 20th,
Oh, the
they're the 30th
30th
anniversary one. I
anniversary?
wanted that
Yeah.
gray one. I didn't want it that bad though, so I like
Okay, so I
barely
definitely have
tried.
a story for that one.
Yeah.
So, that was the one where I went full blown, like, full psycho,
Yeah.
like, I very autistic behavior kinda thing. I had, I think, 6 or 7 screens in front of me.
Oh my god.
So, I had my phone, my laptop, my tablet, and then I had my mom's laptop and my mom's phone, 'cause I was, like, visiting my parents or something when this went down.
Yeah.
So I had all these screens, and, like, I was doing all this research beforehand, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to, the more screens you log in on, the higher your chances." So, like, um, on all these screens, right? And, like, I think 10, 15 minutes before, just in case it went live early, just F5ing on everything. So, for, like, 10 plus minutes, I was just F5ing nonstop on, like, 6 different devices,
Yeah.
and, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? So, but I did manage to be, like, the first wave of people in line,
Yeah.
right? And even with that being the case, of my, like, 6 devices, only 1 actually got through.
That's crazy.
The others didn't get through at all, right?
Yeah.
So, I did manage to get through, and I was able to secure the pre-order for the 30th anniversary PS5 Pro that way, but, like, that's how much effort had to go in to me ensuring I got one, and even then, it wasn't a sure thing, right? Like, all 6 of them could have just, because you get placed in a random place in the queue when you first log in,
Yeah.
so there's no guarantee, um, of you getting one. So a lot of people did not get one. People who were following the same strategy as me did not get one necessarily. So, but I got lucky. I did get one, but I remember that one pretty vividly because that took a lot of prep time, and, like, just thinking back to the Nintendo Switch 1 launch, I think that story has been told and distorted a bit on
Yeah.
the
When you beat
podcast,
up
but,
that
like,
kid.
yeah, killed a kid.
Yeah.
No, but I showed up at Toys R Us because that was still a thing, and weirdly enough, I don't think I pre-ordered this. Did I? I must have. I don't remember. But I do remember physically showing up at a Toys R Us and getting one of their last consoles that they had available for Switch 2.
For Switch 1.
For Switch 1, yeah. Gosh.
I
it's so annoying that they're calling it Switch 2.
Yeah.
I just want to call it the Switch.
The Super Switch. I think I did this for the internet thing for the Steam Deck a little bit. I wanted in on that. I don't remember that being too big of an ordeal though. What I did remember while you were talking though is the multiple devices set up and spamming everything. I did that several times for graphics card drops during the shortages.
Okay,
in
yeah, I
2020.
figured you must have had a story or two about.
Yeah, that was nightmarish, and I never got one. I tried very hard, and I never managed to get one. I signed up. Newegg started doing raffles. They were terrible deals. These graphics cards were so limited. Newegg was bundling them with a bunch of cheap crap, like crappy motherboard you would not want, or like a CPU you wouldn't want to use, or like a power supply that was barely strong enough to power the card. Just stuff that they couldn't sell otherwise. They were bundling with these graphics cards, but everybody was still entering these raffles, and the plan was just to sell off the extra junk after. And I know a guy, my buddy Antonio, managed to win a couple of those raffles. I entered every single raffle I knew about, and I never won one. I never managed to get.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a 3080. That was the card that was originally supposed to be in my PC before I ended up on the 7900 XTX. And I never managed to get a 30 series card. I ended up getting an offer to buy a 3070, but I think I already had this card by then.
Yeah, the people who win those like raffles or contests, that's crazy. Because like I know Taco Bell does those sort of things often.
I won one.
Give away a hard. Yeah, you mentioned did you win a Vita?
I won
what did you win?
My PlayStation Vita when I was in high school.
Yeah.
This is a funny story. I have no idea. I had a strategy, and I don't know if my strategy actually had anything to do with my victory. But I live on the Eastern Standard Time, and so you had to buy a $5 box. Which it was like a $5 taco thing. I don't know. I can't eat Taco Bell anymore. This was back because I have celiac disease, but this was back when I could eat Taco Bell. So I bought that, ate it, and you could enter an unlimited number of times with one box, I think, because of like raffle laws in the US. But I didn't enter until the next morning at 6 a.m. because in the messaging they said giving away a PS Vita every 5 minutes. And I thought, nobody's entering this at 6 a.m. in the Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And I did that, and I won my first try.
That's insane.
My first try. But then I was on like at HTC Evo. I had an Android phone, and their like app just did not work. And so I
back then the Android apps were not.
I was taking like a million screenshots of the victory page, but there was no code or anything. It was just a frozen app that said you win. And I'm like, what do I do with
Hopefully
this?
And
it's
checks.
like 6 a.m. I have to go to school. I can't do anything. I got home from school that day, and I called support, and I was like, hey, your app said I won, but like there's no way. I mean, they didn't ask for any verification of any kind.
That's just so funny.
Okay, what's your address? They sent me.
That's great.
They sent me a PS Vita. So
yeah, that's a great story.
Because of course their app doesn't work. They knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
and I still have that Vita.
Yeah, I have so many stories. I vividly remember most of my console launches. So PS5, right? Like PS5 was another one where I was completely prepared. I'm completely seasoned vet at this point, right? And if you remember, Connor, this is the one where I got like 3 PS5s because I had ordered.
I remember that
from so many different retailers.
But you had people who wanted them, right?
Ensure my pre-order. Yeah. So my strategy was just to get a PS5 and the rest I'll just sell to my friends.
Yeah.
And then it's just like whatever. And very thankful that I had the capital to do something like that.
For sure.
Also a little crazy, I probably only needed to pre-order one PS5. It's okay if I don't get it on launch day.
Well, that was like during the shortages too, right?
Yeah, that was during. So like if you remember, PS5, Xbox Series X faced massive shortages because of COVID.
I remember feeling like they basically didn't exist for the first like 6 months to a year.
They were kind of very hard to get if you did not get on the very first pre-order wave.
Yeah.
So I remember actually very clearly I was at Hilton Head with my family when this went down. And I had only one screen, right? One laptop.
Yeah.
But I had like different tabs for different manufacturers, right? So like Walmart, Best Buy, whatever, right? Um, 30th anniversary was not that way, right? Like, you had to pre-order through PlayStation. There was only one way to get it, because it was a much more limited item. But for PS5, obviously, they had retailers. So I managed to get like a few PS5s from a few different places, and I was just like, okay, I'm just guaranteeing that I have a PS5 at launch, and the subsequent PS5s all sell to friends and family. And like one of those PS5s that I got, like I wasn't able to sell really for like a year or two, so I was just like holding on, and I had eaten that cost. Because like I had a friend who was interested in it, but like
I think it
we
might have
never
been me.
managed to like. No, it was someone. Well, you were kind of interested in one, but like there was
Yeah.
another one that I sold to my friend in New York. I sold it to him eventually, but like yeah, it took a while for me to recoup the cost on that.
Yeah.
Um I can keep going down the line. PS4. I distinctly remember PS4
I
as
don't
well.
remember
So
PS4 being hard to get.
PS4, I don't think it was either. But like I remember PS4 came out my freshman year of college. Um and I remember, gosh, I don't remember what I did to pre-order it, but I remember that I had gotten it delivered to my parents' house. So I remember driving back from Morgantown to Charleston that weekend to get my PS4. Um, and this is such a nerdy thing, but like me being the PlayStation guy, I guess it checks out. But like on the last like 5 minutes stretch to my parents' house, because I knew my PS4 was already there. I rolled down my windows and blasted the Uncharted theme as loud as I could.
Such a nerd.
So I
Ugh.
was
Your
amped for that
family's
thing.
just rolling their eyes.
I know.
That's so funny though.
I'm a nerd. It's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I mean the neighbors probably heard it. It was loud,
What
man. I
games
was
did you
like,
have
gosh, I
for
remember
PS4
just
at
getting
launch?
some of the launch games like Killzone, Shadowfall.
Okay.
Like the launch lineup wasn't anything to write home about. I was excited because like imagine back then, right? There was a lot of reasons to be excited for PlayStation, right? PS5 has a huge first party kind of drought right now, but like Uncharted, The Last of Us, God of War 3, like these games, Little Big Planet, these were all like huge names at the time.
Yeah.
So going into PS4, you were just excited for what the future would hold.
I've just never been
Um,
the reason I ask is I've never been a console at launch kind of guy. I think I did the 3DS because I was really excited about the 3D technology. I thought it was cool.
yeah.
Other than that, I don't think I've ever got, and I guess the Steam Deck, but I didn't actually end up getting it at launch. Other than that, I don't think I've ever got a console at
Yeah.
launch. I got the Wii a few months later for Christmas because I was a child
I
with no
remember
money.
not getting the Wii until way later, actually.
My
Yeah.
parents like scoured. This wasn't my story.
It was impossible to find.
But my birthday's the day before Christmas, and my parents really wanted to get me one for my birthday, but they didn't find one. But like my mom had a friend call her like during my birthday party or something, and she had my dad like sprint out to go buy it so that they could give it to me for Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they managed to grab it. It was like some tiny electronics shop in West Virginia managed.
Yeah, so we're getting back far enough that my memory's starting to become hazy, but for the Wii, I remember it was way after launch, like
The Wii was
maybe
very hard to get for a long
8
time.
months or something after launch. And we were like I was with my family in a Best Buy, and like we just happened to see one there.
Mm-hmm.
And we grabbed it.
Did you ever get
Uh
the NES or the SNES Classic?
no.
The
No.
There were huge
Not the
shortages on
yeah.
those too. But weirdly, the Target in Morgantown just I guess there was just a very small demand for them there because those were extremely
Yeah.
rare. But I was able to get both of them just off the shelf in Target in Morgantown. I
Right.
remember I was with
Nice.
my ex-girlfriend. We were walking around, my girlfriend at the time, and we were just walking around, and I saw it, and I was like, "How? How is this here? How is this just sitting on the shelf?" And I bought two of them. I got one for me, one for my brother, and the same
Nice.
thing with the SNES, just right there on the shelf. They were, and those were very hard to find at the time. So
Yeah.
I've had good luck with Target,
But
I guess.
the last one I can remember is PS3, and I did get a PS3, I think, if not at launch, very close to launch. So I forced my poor dad to pay $600 for a
Oh,
PS3. But,
that's
that
crazy.
one
I
I
think,
remember very vividly too. I was in the Charleston Town Center Mall,
yeah,
and I think it was in 8th grade, Is that when PS3 came out? 8th grade, 7th grade? I was in middle school for sure. That's what I remember.
I think you would be like 6th grade.
Yeah, maybe it was 6th grade actually.
Because I think I was in like the 6th grade when I got my PS3.
When did PS3 come out?
2006.
Yeah, so that I would have been in 6th grade. Yeah. So, and I was in strings, like I played cello in strings, and we were at the Charleston Town Center Mall for an event. And of course, being the kid I am, I checked the GameStop just to see what was going on in there. They had PS3s in there. And then my dad probably thought I was such an idiot kid, but like I called him. My dad is a cardiologist. He has important things to do. He is saving people's lives, right?
Yeah.
But I call him when he's working, which is almost like, I don't know if you know this, but like you almost never do that.
Yeah.
Like like you just don't do that. Okay? But I call him, I was like, "Can you get me a can you please get me a PS3?" I the typical kid thing was like, "You don't have to get me anything for my birthday or anything."
Yeah.
Like
the barter,
this is like negotiating, and he was just like, whatever, sure. So like on his lunch break, he drove to the town center mall and got a freaking PS3 for me. Sorry about that.
That's so funny though.
To my dad, but yeah.
I didn't get my PS3. I'm just not a console at launch guy. Because they just don't tend to have a great launch lineup. The Switch 2 gets a pass on that because you can play Switch games on it, and it's just higher refresh rate screen.
Yeah.
I guess like I don't know. I'm fine, and like the upgrades, I guess. So it gets an okay launch lineup off the rip, and also I don't think I'm going to be able to get one cheaper by the time the games I want to play are out. But like I didn't get the Switch at launch. I tried to, but like I wasn't that sad when I didn't get it because Breath of the Wild was the only game on the Switch for the first like 6 months. So I just bought that on my Wii U and played it, and it was the same game. I got a Switch when Odyssey came out. If I missed this pre-order, I probably wouldn't buy a Switch 2 until Bonanza came out, and that's if the reviews
a month afterwards.
That's if the reviews for Bonanza were good. If it didn't look that good, I would wait until Metroid Prime 4 probably to get it.
Right.
I'm just not a...
Well, you're also more of a PC player.
The ownership
and PC
of the
players
device...
are kind of used to waiting for games to come to their platform. They're not, they're more conditioned to do that.
I guess, but it's also that I know I'm only going to play Nintendo first parties on my Switch 2.
On Switch,
there's like almost no chance I'm going to buy anything else for it.
Right.
And
it's Nintendo first parties and indies for me.
I'm like not that excited for Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza, honestly. Like neither of those games really light a fire under me.
It's not really even the games so much for me. It's just new hardware excites me a lot. New console hardware.
See, I felt that way about the Steam Deck, but I don't feel excited for the Switch 2 like at all from a just holding it perspective. I'm excited about the games it's gonna get.
I was definitely more excited for PS5, but like I'm still looking forward to it, right? Like when it comes, when it shows up, I'm gonna be playing it.
I guess I just wouldn't have been heartbroken
through the night or whatever
if I missed the pre-order. Like it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I think starting when I was college age, so maybe like 18, 19, that's when I really started obsessing over console launches.
Yeah.
Like before that, it was like I get it when I get it, right? Like, and especially as a kid, it's just like you didn't have any control over.
You get it on your birthday,
so you're at the mercy of your parents.
Yeah.
Like I have no memory of when I got PS2 and N64. I don't remember that if it was at launch or afterwards. GameCube, I don't remember. I just got them when I got them. Yeah.
I remember. No, I remember most of mine. I remember my SNES. I remember my N64. I remember my GameCube.
Xbox 360 was also well after launch for me.
GameCube was the only...
I got an Elite, actually.
GameCube was the only one that wasn't like I'd wanted a GameCube for a really long time, but I don't think it was my birthday or anything. But also the GameCube was like $100. It really wasn't that expensive. At least by the time I got it. And I remember my dad just took me to GameStop one day and we picked one up. And like it was weird because we had to choose between either the demo disc or Wind Waker as a pack-in title, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah.
And
tough choice there.
Well, listen. I really wanted the Wind Waker, and my dad was like, "No, you look at how many games are on this one."
Yeah,
and so but he ended up just buying me Wind Waker because he wanted the demo disc for some reason. And it was like a bundle with the Game Boy player too, which I didn't appreciate how cool that was at the time, but the Game Boy player is actually really cool and also like worth a fortune now.
Yeah.
Well, the disc, the player itself is like nearly worthless. The disc is worth a fortune, and I don't know where it is, but I do have it somewhere.
Yeah.
My brother, I let him use it at some point, so God knows. But and I remember the Wii. Obviously, the Wii was such a huge deal. Getting that and playing.
I mean, I'm actually almost thankful that we got that way after launch because I did not imagine trying to get a Wii at launch. That would have been nightmarish,
yeah.
especially back then. You didn't have like the online really infrastructure that we have today.
Yeah, no,
like,
it was in person.
If websites
fighting.
were crashing for the Switch 2 launch, imagine what they were doing for the Wii launch.
Yeah, the Wii was something else. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to be into.
And it is kind of like a mob mentality sort of thing too, I think, because I really truly was not about to stay up at midnight for the Switch 2 pre-order until I looked online and fell into the FOMO. That's really what it was.
That's funny. See, I'm just usually I just figured I would still be awake because I often am still awake at midnight. Like I'm in bed, but I'm usually still awake. And I was like, if I am, I'll do it. If I'm not, I won't.
I wasn't even thinking about it until you messaged me. Honestly,
well, you're welcome.
Forgotten it was. Yeah, I guess. Thanks.
Yeah, but so you finally got yours from Walmart, right?
Yeah,
and you are gonna get it on launch day. Mine's from Target, and it says June.
Allegedly.
Yeah, mine says Target, or mine is from Target and says June 11th. And I've seen kind of mixed messages online about whether that's like a placeholder thing.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, I might contact support. I don't want to contact support like right now because I don't want to be annoying.
Honestly, they probably don't even know, and they probably won't know until close to launch.
That's the other thing. That's why I'm gonna wait a little bit because I think I can change up until it ships. I can change the address it's going to. So I'm not gonna be that. I'm just not that. Like I said, Mario Kart World. I'll play it. I'm glad I got it for $50. There's no world in which I would have paid $80 for it. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting because our philosophies here are just different. You would fight for day one for games.
Yeah.
But I fight day one for the actual hardware. I'm just really interested in new hardware.
That's why I'm so glad digital games.
I find it fun.
I remember Spore. Spore was the first game I ever followed the development of. I think I've mentioned that a few times on the show. And the morning Spore came out, I woke my dad up and had him drive me out.
The things our parents used to put up with.
Go buy it. And it was like a weird day of the week or something. I don't know if it was a Sunday or something, but it was 9 a.m. and GameStop wasn't open, and neither was Target. Nowhere was even open when we got there. So me and my dad just hung out in this parking lot for an hour waiting for the store to open. And I was like, no, this game's gonna be huge. There's not gonna be nobody was buying Spore at launch. Nobody even knew about it. So
yeah,
no,
we were very fortunate to have dads that put up with us.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of dads would not.
I don't know. My dad was, I'm an only child. My dad was probably just happy to hang out for a bit.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a weird day. It was a weird day for a lot of reasons. But
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So I think this is an entirely separate discussion, but if we loop game launches into this, I have a lot of stories because as a kid, back before everything is all digital on console, I used to go to midnight launches all the time.
I've only ever been to one. I went to the Smash Bros. Ultimate midnight launch.
Oh yeah, they were having a tournament too, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe I'm
misremembering.
Me and my ex. It was at the GameStop in Huntington. So
I think they had tournaments everywhere, all over the country.
It was voluntary because I remember I asked if they were doing a midnight launch because me and my we had a relationship with the GameStop. We were there so often.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "Hey, are you guys doing a midnight launch?" And they were like, "Oh, we don't know yet. We'll put the feelers out, see if there's demand." And there was 20 people there. I got my clock cleaned at a Smash Bros. Tournament before playing Ultimate. I got
midnight
roasted
launches
for playing Little Mac.
Aren't a thing anymore, are they? I think COVID kind of killed midnight launches, right?
COVID, yeah, the combination between COVID and everything's digital. Have you seen The controversy for the Switch 2 with relation to digital games.
Are you talking about, like, the game cards or whatever?
It seems that basically...
What are those? I have no idea,
So
actually.
it's a cartridge with nothing on it except a key to access the game. So in order to play the game, you still have to put the cartridge in, but there's no data on the cartridge. So you buy the card.
Oh, that's lame. So you have to download it.
But you can sell it as a used game. So that's like the advantage over a digital game. But the controversy is that it is looking like because that option exists, none of the third parties want to pay for a real cartridge. So essentially, any third party you game, I think except for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was like a notable exception. I think Cyberpunk's on the cartridge, but the vast majority of third party games, all Sega games, they're all game key cards.
Cyberpunk on a cartridge.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll ever buy a Switch 2 cartridge. I think I'm done. I'm gonna go digital.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just gotten too messy now. Because like I'm a big fan of physical, but it's just too easy, too convenient.
Nintendo clearly wants you to go all digital. They would not have.
I mean, everyone wants you to go all digital.
Nintendo would not have made the game cases so hideous if they wanted you to buy them. Like they're horrible. They're truly diabolically ugly.
Wait, so why do you hate them so much? I think they're fine.
Thick,
inoffensive.
The massive red letterboxing on them. The like 2-inch.
The red is the Switch 2 color or Switch color, right?
Yeah, but it's huge.
Kind of branding.
Have you seen these things?
I don't think I've seen a Switch 2 one specifically.
The Switch,
I'm thinking
looks
of the
fine.
Switch 1 ones.
The Switch 1 ones look fine. The Switch 2 game boxes look. Are you bringing up an image of it?
No, I thought you were about
okay.
to.
I'll get one and send you a link.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just easier to be all digital nowadays, which it is like a dying battle. The all physical only people are fighting a dying battle, but
yeah, I mean, I still like for movies and stuff. If you are literally getting a better experience physical, then I'm all for it. But that's just not the case.
The only thing I
anymore.
fear is that the day will come. See, I don't mind that.
I think so that's big, dude. It's like taking
big?
up the Switch 2 logo at the top. It's huge. Because these are like the same. I think these are the size of normal game boxes now. But the box art is the size of a Switch 1 case. So like that Switch 2 logo at the top is taking up like 20% of the box. Like it's hideous.
I see what you're saying. I guess it just doesn't bother me that much.
And the problem,
like, either way,
it's not that bad.
I'm never gonna own a physical Switch 2 game.
Yeah,
probably
because the only value in these is that they look good, and it doesn't look good. So there is no value to these anymore.
The only thing I fear is that one day all the physical media I have will just not be compatible anymore with my systems. Like, what's gonna happen to because most of my, not most, but like a lot of my PS4 games are physical games. A lot of my Switch games are physical cartridges. Like eventually those games are just not going to be accessible physically, even though they probably will be digitally on subsequent consoles.
You're just going to have to pirate at that point.
Yeah.
That's I've accepted that. I like retro games and everything, and I do play the ones that I have access to on original hardware. But I don't know, the reality, like PS5 is even worse than that because the PS5 disk drive has DRM on it. So there is a future where the PSN servers for the PS5 are gone and you literally can't read the discs you have, like on, even though you have the disc reader and everything. Like the modern consoles are just extremely anti-preservation.
Yeah.
So, you
it's a shame.
Yeah, you're just not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, we were talking about video game launches, and I think maybe I'll share one that I remember pretty vividly. And I think I've shared this before on the show, but Skyrim's midnight launch. I remember going to GameStop.
11/11/11.
Patrick, yeah, unforgettable launch day. And then Uncharted 3 was 11/1/11, also a memorable launch day. But yeah, I remember going to GameStop with him, and then there were like people dressed up and everything. Like it was a whole event. Yeah, like people were really into it. But I got my physical copy of Skyrim for Xbox 360. We went back to my house and we just played it all night. Like I remember him falling asleep, like sitting down at like 4 a.m. and I was still up and I was exploring the College of Winterfell and I was like, this is the best game ever.
Winterhold.
Winterfell is a Game of Thrones thing. My mistake. Yeah, Winterhold.
Learn the lore.
Yeah. Especially now because I'm playing Oblivion. Yeah. But yeah, that's one memorable one. I don't know if we want to go down the rabbit hole of game launches.
The only one I've really done
that.
is Smash Ultimate and Spore. I haven't really.
Yeah, Spore.
Every other one.
Gosh.
Yeah, there was no midnight launch for Spore. Every other game I've been pretty much all digital since then. I have a couple of I got a decent library of physical Switch games. I guess we did Mario.
Well, nowadays,
we did Odyssey launch.
Games unlock. A lot of games launched digitally at midnight.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just not the same in my opinion. Like I'm not.
But you can actually play at midnight.
But it's maybe an age thing. I know this is probably just a me thing, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, actually,
no,
it felt like an event.
There's the community
the
to it, and you're missing.
It was community. There was an event. Now it just unlocks at midnight. I'm like, I kind of just want to go to bed at this point.
See, you know? I stayed up till midnight to play Tears of the Kingdom because that was a game I was extremely excited for.
Yeah, there are games that there are exceptions for. I think
I stayed up to play Monster Hunter Wilds, and I was like texting my little Pittsburgh Hunters Guild Discord I'm in, and we were all like, let me in, because without fail, it doesn't let you in at exactly midnight. It's usually like 5 minutes or so.
A couple minutes.
I think it was almost 15 minutes, I think, with Tears of the Kingdom. It was a while. And that's always funny. So there's still like a little community to it, but
yeah.
The game's just changed.
Remember. I mean, I can't think of any game coming up where I'm willing to do that. Like, I'm sure there will be another one eventually, but like, as of right now, looking at the slate of upcoming games, there's like no game I'm gonna be like up at playing it.
Yeah, all the good games already came out
on
this
launch.
Year. Monster Hunter's already passed. Blueprints was a big one for me, but I wasn't gonna stay up until midnight for it.
Yeah, like play Blueprints at launch all midnight. I mean, who did that?
There were people.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also a combination of just getting older too, I think.
I don't like midnight launches. The typical Steam games typically go live at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's great. I don't know why the hell Switch pre-orders were at midnight either. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Why'd you do that to me, Nintendo? That was just targeted.
And like sometimes it's midnight Pacific time, so it's like 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
it's just like it's not.
Yeah, so the midnight Eastern time, it was 9 p.m. Pacific time. Screw you guys.
Yeah, they were
you
spry
West
at
Coast
that time. They were ready to go.
bastards.
Yeah, they were favoring the West Coast for sure there.
Yeah,
but also like, I don't know, like why? You know, why midnight?
Yeah,
just do it at like 6 p.m. or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, we got off on a lot of tangents there, but any other memories you kind of want to share there? Console launches, game launches? Sort of thing?
I threw a launch party for Minecraft when it launched.
Minecraft?
Nobody
really?
showed up, but I did do it.
So it was just you?
No, it was me and my friend John, who I think was playing Minecraft for the very first time. Shout out to John, he's a real one.
Minecraft's a weird one because like...
What year did...
We played it a lot back in the day, but we started on the beta.
Me too. I started in alpha.
So like...
But like...
Or maybe it might have even been the alpha, I don't remember. But like, so I don't even remember when it actually came out, because we were just
I think it was 2012.
nonstop.
No, not the initial release. I want Minecraft 1.0.
Yeah, I think Minecraft beta was 2012.
I think it was November 14th, 2011. So I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was 2011 because like the summer before our senior year started, so that would have been 2011. We were fiending Minecraft. I remember that.
So where was everybody? Because I thought Antonio was at work. I don't know, but like I wanted to do like an all-nighter because that was like what you did in high school. You did all-nighters. That was
yeah.
So we did. Me and my buddy John, we did an all-nighter. We beat the Ender Dragon. All of it. That was all new. The Ender Dragon was added in that update.
Yeah. I remember we played it way before that stuff was added.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I mean, I'd been playing since alpha. So this was like I'd been playing, like putting hundreds of hours into Minecraft since alpha. I started right before the Nether got added. And so this was like a huge moment. I was like, well, my friends that have been playing with me, like, you guys should be here. I set up a server and everything for 1.0, and it was like me and one other guy. And I don't know where everybody was. I think they were like, I forget because I don't think they'd started working yet. We'd have been too young. I would have been like 14, I think, in 2011.
Yeah.
Maybe they were 15 and they were working. I don't know. I just remember
there,
nobody was there, but except John, who not very good at video games. Love him to death. Not a gamer.
Yeah.
Except Civ. He's very good at Civ. Put thousands of hours into Civ 5, that guy.
I can relate.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a fun little trip down memory lane. Glad we got our Switch 2s locked in, though. That was a little dicey there for a bit. At least for me.
Couldn't be me.
Totally ruined my day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was an awful day. Hated it. Anyways, so what are we playing here? So we might not have much to talk about because we literally just recorded yesterday, but I think you and I are playing one.
Yeah,
game, right?
let me talk about Oblivion just a little bit first.
Sure.
Again.
Yeah,
I know we just did an episode about Oblivion.
Yeah.
I've played it a little more. I figured out. So I messaged the Discord and I was like, you know what? I'm going full 2006 mode. I'm just gonna max out the settings and like take what may come with the frame rate.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it was pretty bad when I did it. But then I restarted the game, and apparently there is like significant instability when you change settings. I restarted the game, and it's running like fine at max settings, like full lumen ray tracing and everything.
That's awesome.
Not like
it must
flawless,
look fantastic.
but yeah, it's pretty good. It's over 60 FPS. It's around 60 FPS native, I think. With frame gen, it gets up to like 80-ish, something like that. Running at 1440p ultra wide, and I'm like fine with that. And yeah, the game's just gorgeous. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how much of it I'm going to play because of the other game we're going to talk about, but I really like it. The only thing I really feel like they messed up is the colors of the overworld. And
yeah, it's a little brownish, right?
Oblivion, like I think the indoors sections, I think they have very faithfully captured them and improved upon them in basically every way. But the outdoor stuff, it doesn't look that good. It does look good, but it's like the ray tracing and stuff isn't adding that much when you're outside. The reflections are good, but it just doesn't matter to me that much. I actually kind of prefer the like absurdly vibrant greens and like pastel sunsets and sunrises of the original.
Yeah, I think the color palette of the original was very good.
It's unmatched.
And it's different in the remake.
Yeah,
it's more I guess more realistic.
It feels like Skyrim
for some
but
reason.
Better.
Yeah,
like it feels very similar to how Skyrim felt to me at the time. They're clearly going. I don't want to use the word like lazy realism, but I don't feel any artistry when I'm walking around outside in the Oblivion remake. This feels like someone is just trying to capture what outside looks like. Whereas the original Oblivion was very it had a vibe, and the new one just doesn't. But that's not going to stop me from like enjoying it at all. I still wholeheartedly recommend this remake.
Yeah, I'm still mostly just playing Oblivion, right? Like I still think about Blueprints pretty often, especially because I'm watching Northernlion play it like all the time.
Yeah.
But and I do want to revisit it, but for now, like I'm mostly in Oblivion mode. I've closed a second Oblivion gate. I've started the Thieves Guild quest line.
Nice.
And it's just a wonderful combination of things that I remember vaguely, so it's like nostalgia fueled, but then also like a lot of things that I've forgotten. So it's like joyful little discoveries I keep making. So I don't know, I'm having a fantastic time with this game, and way better of a time that I actually thought I would be having, right?
Yeah.
Because like in my head I was just like, okay, I enjoyed Oblivion as a kid, but also I was a kid.
No, it's peak.
Does it really hold up? And it totally does. Yeah, it's a special game.
I don't know how much more of it I'm going to play because the other game we've both been playing really just immediately captured me. Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Expedition 33. Terrible name, by the way, but
terrible
lore-wise, I guess it makes sense.
So let me talk first because I'm going to say nice things about it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I saw like you post. I was not into this game at all from the trailer. I thought it looked like confusing and stupid and everything. But then you posted in our Discord that it had like a 93 on Metacritic, and I'm like, well, it's on Game Pass. I have to give it a chance.
That's a score you can't really ignore. Like a 93 puts it, in like the upper echelons of all video games. So
I turned it on.
That was surprising, yeah.
And I immediately am like, my breath is taken away. I'm like, oh, I get why this is a 93. I think this is gorgeous. I love this. It's a French game studio doing a JRPG. I saw somebody joke that this is the first JRPG. JRPG.
Yeah.
And the main character is played by Charlie Cox, a guy named Gustav. I like him. I like the
Is Charlie Cox British?
I have no idea what Charlie Cox is. I imagine he's Irish since he plays Daredevil. Like Irish.
No, I mean like is he doing an accent for this game, or is this his real voice? Or is he doing this accent for this game, or is he doing an accent for Daredevil? Because
I think,
yeah, like
I don't know. But I like it. Whatever. I like
yeah,
his voice in this. I recognized it immediately. I didn't think it was him. I forget who I thought
I
it
did
was.
not. Yeah,
But I recognized the voice enough that I looked it up. And it's him and his sister Mael, who I also think is pretty cool. And there's like this brief talk at the very beginning where Mael is like, you should hand her that he's like, he has a flower and he's like debating going and giving it to an ex-girlfriend of his. And Mael is like, you better get that flower before they wilt. And it's kind of a funny thing. He's like, the flower or the girl. And you're like, haha, that's kind of funny. And then it turns out that it's literal. Like, she literally turns to dust not even 20 minutes later.
Do you want to talk about the premise of this game? Because one thing I will say about this game is that the lore, the premise is fascinating.
I think it's sick.
Such an interesting idea.
You're in this like analog for Paris, essentially, called Lumion City, which I'm curious about because Lumiose City in Pokemon is Paris. And Luminous City.
It could just be a France thing. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
about
I don't
France
know
really,
enough about it. But anyway, there's this massive like force of nature villain named the Paintress. And once a year, it seems like, something called the Gommage happens where the Paintress writes a number on something. I don't it's not super
on the sky.
Yeah, on the sky
or whatever.
And any person older than that number in years turns to dust, essentially. And it's like this thing
gets Thanos snapped, essentially.
And it's so predictable that they like have a festival around it.
So my understanding was that is it just the number just random, or does it go down?
It's going down, I think, because I found a few logs about previous expeditions, and it's like descending down to 33.
Yeah, so like it started at like 100, and now it's all the way down to 34 at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
and then like before the title hits, it goes down to 33. So basically, any 34-year-olds are just snapped out of existence.
And there's like so much, like so Sophie, your Gustav's ex-girlfriend, is 33 years old, and so she, they're like
34.
Holding. She said she said 33. She said I've had 33 good years.
Well, then why did she snap away?
Because the new number was 33.
Oh, maybe that's how that works.
Yeah,
okay.
The new number the Paintress writes is 33. It was 34 at the beginning. And it's like really sad. Like you got to know Sophie, you got to walk around town with her a little bit. Not a lot, but you kind of got a hint at their relationship. That actually worked on me. Like a lot of times this doesn't work. This game did pretty effectively make me care about Sophie, and I like was a little confused about what was happening. I didn't expect her to turn to dust necessarily. And she does, and then you like learn a little bit. I guess the expeditions, they've been sending one a year, and the expeditions are made up of a group of people that only have 1 year left to live, typically, and they dedicate their last year of life.
Yeah, it's like a suicide mission, essentially, to figure out what's going on, if the Paintress can be stopped.
And you go do it, and you find yourself in this beautiful continent. They just call it the continent, because Lumiose, whatever, I don't even remember. Luminous City is on an island. And so you
and I don't know if you found this lore yet, Connor, but apparently it fell out of the sky.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, apparently this city used to be in the sky, then it fell out, and that's when the Paintress showed up, and then the countdown started happening.
Okay. But yeah, you go to this continent, and immediately everyone dies. Like your whole group, it turns into like
the expedition all dies.
Saving Private Ryan. Like it is the
and it's like a kind of eldritch. There's like horrific monsters that are you can't even really describe them.
Really cool.
That like just kill everyone. Yeah.
And I'm just super into all of that. Like all of this.
And there's a little bit of intrigue too, right? Because like before the expedition got attacked, and they were met by an old man.
Yeah.
And that should not be possible, because anyone over the age of 33 should not exist at this point. But there was an old man before things went to hell. And maybe that guy was from Expedition 0 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because 0 was the first expedition, then it counted down from 99 down.
So it's pretty exciting to me. I'm excited to learn more about the world.
Yeah. The mystery is interesting, for sure.
So what? So tell me your perspective on it now, I guess.
Dude, like, I'm gonna come off as such an idiot here, but you know when like you turn on a game and sometimes you just get a visceral reaction. I don't know what it was. I turned it on and immediately I just hated everything I saw.
That's so weird.
I hated the characters. I hated the setting. I was just like, this is too French.
Well, wait,
Sorry,
you were playing
France.
this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Is there?
I was also sleep
Is there a
deprived
chance
yesterday.
you were just
Maybe
cranky?
I was just grumpy. Yeah, I could have just been cranky. That's very possible. Yeah. So I'm not just swearing it off. Right. Like I'm certainly gonna give it a chance. Like even yesterday, I was just like, this is such a cool premise for a story.
I love the combat too. The combat is like
the combat is interesting, but I just feel like it's not weighty enough. I just kept comparing it to like JRPGs, and maybe I need to stop doing that.
I mean, like, it is more or less a JRPG.
It felt like they were trying to do Persona with the combat,
See,
I felt
UI wise
like they weren't doing it.
They're UI wise, I feel like they're going for Persona and missing it by a little bit. Yeah, because the Persona UI is so readable, and I feel like the UI in this is trading form for function a little bit.
There's just a little bit of sloppiness everywhere, right? And then I don't know, like all that kind of built up to create a negative impression.
This is not,
and there's also where like the dialogue. I don't know if it's like this on PC. The character dialogue is just slightly quieter than it should be, and it's very annoying to hear it because the music and the dialogue is not balanced.
Do you have a center channel on here? Okay, because I was gonna say like I had that problem a lot before I had a center channel, and I can hear the dialogue, but when
I can hear it, it's just annoying because it's not mixed properly.
And it's just like
these little things just kind of aggravated me enough to form a negative opinion about this.
On PC, you can change the mix. You can probably do that on console too.
You can change the mix on console too, but you shouldn't. Like by default, it shouldn't be like that. Yeah,
but I can't think of a game where I don't do that. I do that every game I play. So.
Oh, you do change them. I never do, actually.
I almost always turn everything down a little bit, turn dialogue up a little bit. Almost always. Because I mean, in this I actually didn't, because I'm gonna sound like such a snob when I say this, but I like the music in this so much. I'm like so into the artistry of it so far that I'm like, they wanted this music to be like really loud, and they wanted this dialogue to be really soft. And so like I just turned it up to a volume I didn't think my neighbors would hear, but I'm like blasting the music at myself while I play it. And like,
I mean, it's pretty. I feel like it is kind of generic, the music, in my opinion too.
To me, I mean, generic maybe, but it's hitting, if that makes sense. It reminds me a lot of Nier Automata musically.
Yeah, I can see
and Nier Automata hits for me. I love Nier Automata. So,
but yeah, like I don't know, the character designs did not like. The second I saw Gustav, I was just like, who's this douchebag? And then I was like, oh, I have to play as this douchebag? Oh,
I think he's fine. He's just a French dude.
Yeah.
I actually really like the other.
Maybe I'm anti-French. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
So what I'm hearing, like, as you talk, is like I'm hearing what I said about Monster Hunter Rise, which was like I didn't like.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I didn't like the town. Like I liked the gameplay and I liked the world and everything. It's Monster Hunter.
But
I didn't like
the gameplay is
town.
fine. I'm not fully sold on it. We kind of got distracted, but I will say the active turn-based stuff is cool. I like it when games do that.
It feels like Mario RPG, or not Mario,
where you have to either dodge, you can dodge or parry any attack. It seems
it's tight
so
too.
far.
The window's very tight. Have you fought any bosses yet?
To do? No, I'm not that far.
It's hard.
I basically just got to the continent and fought the first enemy, and then I stopped playing. I was just like, I'm done with this garbage.
It continues to get good.
Yeah.
I'm in like this cool like underwater. Like you just walk and suddenly you're underwater. It's really hard to explain. It's very magical setting. Very surreal. And there's like coral everywhere and stuff and new enemies that I think is really cool. I don't know. I'm just immediately on board. But what I was saying with Monster Hunter was like, you were making fun of me because I did not like the Japanese-ness of the of Monster Hunter Rise. I didn't like the armor.
It's the same thing with
it's the same thing with this for you, I think. Which is funny because I went back and looked at Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, which also did the Japanese thing, and I like it there. I just really don't like the way Rise did it. So I don't think there's going to be any more Frenchness in this game, though. I don't think like Paris is done and gone. You're not going back.
Yeah. You're in like this fantasy world, which is cool. Like.
It's a little Attack on
Something
Titan
about it is
too.
rubbing me the wrong way.
Like the vibe of like your entire party getting annihilated and like
and I do think like if anything will keep me playing this game, and don't get me wrong, like I'm still gonna play this game. I'm not sold off of it yet, but the story and the setup is very interesting, and that's gonna keep me going through the whole thing because like I don't know, like what's truly going on. And I bet what truly is going on is going to be an Attack on Titan style twist where it's just something so out of left field, but also makes sense.
It's already
in the context
like
of the world.
Kind of building to like, that. Yeah.
like why is this happening, right? Like, is the paintress counting down to something? You know, like it's just
It's also
it's
like it
fascinating.
very
Yeah.
quickly becomes unclear whether the paintress is like evil. Like immediately,
Yeah.
even Sophie before she dies, she's like, I kind of feel bad
Yeah,
for
I
her.
almost feel bad for her. Yeah, so like there's probably some sort of like insane JRPG kind of twist coming where it's like, oh, like it's a good thing to eliminate like all of humanity every year.
I also
But
like it feels very French in like the way they're willing to fight, the talk of guillotines, like
yeah, it's very obviously
yeah, I like it.
France inspired.
I don't play outside of Ubisoft games. I don't play a lot of French games or experience a lot of French media.
Yeah.
So there is a feeling to this that I'm not used to, and I really like it. Even
Yeah,
if it's not
that
for
feeling
everybody.
is what's turning me off of
Yeah,
this game. Yeah, but like I don't know, like and again, could be just that I was grumpy yesterday
could
like
be.
you
Yeah.
said. But like did not like the characters, didn't really like the setting, didn't really like the audio mix. The gameplay really wasn't that compelling to me either cuz like yeah, the parry and dodge mechanics are interesting, but like I really felt like the combat was not weighty enough.
I mean it
Like I didn't feel a punch whenever
I have a
like I do with Persona, for example, whenever I go into combat.
yeah, I don't know if that's
But
going to get better because on some level they have to like they can't because you have to be doing the QTEs during the combat. That limits them a little
yeah,
bit on that, I think. But I also like the combat obviously gets more complex as you go, and I'm
right,
wondering if
yeah.
that's gonna help you a little. Like I have multiple party members now. Uh,
Mhm.
that obviously was a huge improvement, and I actually lost to the first boss that I fought 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
I was I'm not that big brained when it comes to turn based combat. For one thing, I'm playing on the normal difficulty setting, whatever the
Yeah, me
default
too.
was. And I'm also playing with a Bluetooth controller, which for how narrow the timing is for the parries is kind of hurting me a little bit. It usually doesn't bother me, but like I would never use that controller for like Super Mario 64 speedruns back when I used to do that. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if I need to switch to a controller that has a little less latency because I am struggling to hit those parries. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm in love with it though. I
So
can't wait to play more.
and again, right, like, I probably have an hour or less in this game, so, like, certainly not enough time to write it off entirely, so I'm gonna give it more time,
Yeah,
but,
I'm only 2 hours in.
I was kinda surprised, though, because like, I'm typically not one to disagree too much with a lot of consensus opinions for really highly rated games,
Hmm.
but immediately I was like, "How the heck is this a 93?"
I know.
Like, I was just like,
That's how I
"There's
felt with
no way."
Blueprints, though. I
Yeah.
I was shocked to hear you didn't like it because I played it and
Yeah, we had totally different
I went in
yeah,
thinking like
reactions.
I have to give this a shot, but I'm probably not gonna like it. That was how I
Dude,
felt
I
going
went in
in.
thinking, dude, I bought it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in. I'm like, this is gonna be sick. But I had not seen any trailers or any. Went in completely blind because I was hoping it'd be one of those things where I like go in blind and I'm just blown away by something I had no idea what it even
And that's
was.
what it
Right? Like
was for me. Yeah.
I had no concept of what to expect, what the story was, what it even looked
It like
like.
it hits
So
so
I
many
went
notes.
totally
Like
blind.
I love
Yeah,
the magic. I love the magical set. Like it's like Final
tech
Fantasy
magic kind
technology.
of thing.
Yeah, the Final
Yeah,
Fantasy tech magic kind of stuff in it. I love that.
hex tech.
That hits for me. I love I love the somber tone. I just like I don't know. I I got nothing
I
to
also like. I
complain
don't
about.
like the
Yeah.
voice acting either.
I do.
I don't know. That could just be me a thing.
Yeah, I don't know what your beef is. It's not like Xenoblade. Like it's not like thick Scottish accents and a terrible
Yeah. I
uh
mean, it's fine. It's serviceable.
yeah,
But like,
I think it's really good. I mean, it's Charlie Cox. It's Daredevil.
yeah, I don't know. I really don't like Gustav. I just
I
don't.
don't get it.
Like,
I think
he's
I mean, he's kind
got a
of
very punchable
he's a
face.
bit of a dick, but like I like him.
No, I don't know. I didn't like him. Hopefully he grows on me because he's
Yeah,
the
I hope so
protagonist,
cuz
but
yeah,
yeah.
well, I don't I'm not
Maybe he's not. I don't know.
I'm not
Maybe he dies
yeah.
3 hours in.
I'm not convinced he's going to be there the whole game because early on there's like a title card that says Chapter 1 Gustav. And that makes me think you may not be with him the
Oh,
whole
I remember seeing chapter 1, but I didn't see I don't remember seeing Gustav, but
I think that's what it
okay.
said.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But I don't know, interesting game, you know, like, and it really sort of came out of nowhere with this high score from an unknown studio. So like, good on them.
I mean, I definitely feel the jank of a somewhat inexperienced studio. Like,
yeah, there is jank there, and that's. I guess I feel like I was more sensitive to the jank yesterday, and it kind of maybe colored my opinion more than it should have.
I mean, I was cold on the game. You finished talking to Mayel, and I'm like still forming my opinion about the game, right? And she says,
that's like 30 seconds.
I know. Well, she says, walk with me to the harbor, and then she sprints full speed, like Mach 2. Like, I don't even know that there's a run button.
It's a little goofy.
She sprints away, and then like not even a few minutes in, she's like, "How about we have a duel?" And I'm like, "This is a weird way to do a tutorial." Like, none of that stuff.
Yeah,
like that was all not.
It is
very
a little
good.
janky.
Yeah, that was all very weird.
But what I'm betting on is that I think the story is going to ultimately end up so compelling it'll make up for a lot of these little shortcomings. So,
and I think the combat heats up. I really enjoyed the boss fight that I did, and I really enjoyed that the smaller enemies are so weak that I can usually take them out in a single turn.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you're smart, if you know the strat,
I'm gonna give it more time for sure. I don't think it's fair to just hate it immediately out of the gate like I am right now.
I wonder if How Long to Beat has info on it yet, because I'm probably gonna play it. No, it doesn't. There's no How Long to Beat yet.
Really?
I am. Not. Yeah, because Xbox usually shows that on the Game Pass page. I am probably gonna play this like all weekend because I am enamored with it so far. I will say, I hate its achievements because I hate achievements in games.
I haven't even looked at that.
In general, I hate like a pop-up coming up while I'm playing a game. But I especially hate when like a very somber moment finishes in a game, like your entire team dying, and then the little Xbox pop-up comes up and says, done prologue or whatever. And I'm like, shut up. I'm trying to enjoy the media.
Yeah.
Like, stop gamifying. Like, I don't need my 10 gamer score or whatever. No one cares.
Yeah, you can like shut that off like in the system.
I've never, I know, and I should.
But it is annoying where it's just like literally everyone I know just died, and you get a little 10G achievement.
Yeah. Like, come on, man, work with me here. Have a little restraint.
Read the room, Xbox. But yeah, are we playing anything else?
Nah, not right now.
Yeah. All right, so I think that'll do it for today's episode. This will probably come out. It's incongruous, right? Because we talked a lot about dates and stuff and like when we were pre-ordering. By the time this comes out, all this will be ancient history, right? Because this is coming out
like 2 weeks.
Over a week from now. So, but anyways, thank you all for listening. You can follow us at Podcast Game Talk on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky. And you can click the link in the Discord, in the description, to join our Discord and talk to us there. And like, rate, and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or any other podcast services you use. Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye.